Hey YouTube, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're going to be going over sourdough shaping and we're going to shape up 3 loaves of bread. We're going to be making 2 batards and 1 boule, and I'm going to walk you through the basic steps of how to shape your bread. Starting off with my favorite tools, a bench knife and a bowl scraper. A bowl scraper is plastic and more flexible, and a bench knife is going to be metal and sturdy. The bowl scrapers I like to use for exactly what it's called, scraping the bowls. I just like to loosen my dough along the side of the bowl before I dump it out. And then just a light dusting of flour on your clean work surface. And this is just all-purpose flour. Dump out our dough. Then I'm just going to use my bowl scraper to get the last of the dough out of my bowl if you have anything that clings to it. And now I'm going to divide my dough up into 3 equal pieces. You could totally weigh these out if you want to be super specific with it. I typically just eyeball it. It's usually about 1,000 grams per loaf if you're following my recipe. Now that I feel like they're all roughly the same size, I'm going to do what's called the pre-shaping on them. I like to do a shaping routine that has 2 shapings to it. You do the pre-shaping and then the final shaping. Regardless of what final shape we're doing, a boule or a batard, your pre-shaping is going to be the same. So we're going to walk through that with these 3 really quick, and then we're going to leave them to do a bench rest. So when you're doing your pre-shaping, you want to give your dough just kind of a gentle jiggle so that it gets into a somewhat even layer. And you're trying to make it into a square or a rectangle shape. It can be pretty loose, doesn't have to be really perfect, doesn't have to be pretty on this one. So we're going to take the bottom third, fold it up, top third, fold it down. That's called a letter fold. You're folding it like you would a piece of paper going into an envelope. So then we move it 90 degrees, roll it on over itself just really gently, and then you've got your little spiral, and you're going to take cupped hands, you go push and pull. And as you're doing that, the counter should be catching the dough and it's going to give it some surface tension on the top. So we're pushing, turn, and then pull. And we're getting surface tension on the top of our dough as we do that. So we're going to do that just a couple times till it forms a nice little ball. Set it aside. Do the same with the next. So we're going to jiggle it out. Third fold up, third fold down, rotate, and roll. Now we're gonna push and pull, push, pull, push, pull, push, pull. Give it a little love tap for good measure, and on to our third. This one's a big boy. Third, third, rotate and roll. Now that I have my 3 loaves shaped here, I'm just going to cover them up with a towel and let them do the bench rest, which will be about 20 minutes or so, just until they relax back down and we let the gluten relax, and then we can work up a bit more structure and strength in our final shaping. I think we need a bigger towel over here. We're going to double up. All right, be back soon. We are back. Our dough has been resting and now it is time for us to do the final shaping. And this is where it starts to get fun and interesting. So for our boule, for the round shape, it's going to be the exact same as our pre-shaping. And for the batard, these ovals, it's going to be a little bit different. It starts the same and then it changes. So we'll start with the boule, start with what we know, and then we'll move on to the next. So we're going to flip our dough over. Same thing, kind of just give it a nice gentle jiggle until it's a square or rectangle type shape. 1/3, 1/3, and we're going to rotate it 90 degrees and roll it on over itself until it's in a ball. Push and pull, push, pull, until once again we have our nice tight round ball of dough. Plop it into our proofing basket, and now I'm going to set that aside. Up next, we have our 2 batards. Just going to move that one So we're gonna flip it over, and same as what we did before. Jiggle it out. Do our letter fold, 1/3, 1/3, rotate. Now here's where it gets different. So instead of just like gently letting it roll over itself, we're gonna be using our thumbs and our fingers to kind of guide it and pinch and roll. So we're rolling, pinching, and we're kind of just rolling it like that until it forms more of a log shape here. We're gonna pinch our sides closed. Make sure my baskets have a little flour on them. These ones look like they're actually pretty clean. I don't know when the last time I used them was. Then we're gonna get our dough in there onto our final loaf. 1/3, 1/3, rotate. All right, so then we're gonna go fingers under, thumbs over, pinch, roll, pinch and roll. Seal the sides and into our proofing basket. I'm gonna let these rest on the counter for about 10 minutes or so until they get tacky on the top again, and then I'm gonna stitch them closed. This just kind of helps them hold that final shape and give them a nice, clean look on the bottom of them. Then they'll go into the fridge to do a cold proof, and I'll bake them tomorrow morning. So our final loaves. For the boule, this is what they're gonna turn out like. I like to just do a classic simple score on all of mine, so I just do an X on my boule most of the time. And for a batard, I always love just a simple straight down the middle, and mine always looks a little bit rounded because I actually bake my batards in my round bread oven. They still turn out just fine. They look incredible. Obviously, they taste delicious.